Hell yeah, alright. Video, 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 video space. Video talk, talking video talk. We're 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 talking video talk.
Yeah.
We're talking video talk.
Bitch, we're talking with our boy Willie. You know he's got the shit. He's dancing real hard. I know you'll never get sick of it. He's got that tee on, got that long sexy hair. You know he's about to take his shirt off, his abs so bare. He's got a six pack. They call him Suburban Commando. He's a big motherfucker and he's dropping it low. He's about to slap that ass, baby, about to slap it so hard. You ever seen this motherfucker running naked through your backyard?
We're talking video talk. We're talking
Video talk, bitch, we're talking video talk. Get your video talk. You best subscribe. You best subscribe or die. You best subscribe or dive to video talk.
Hello, and welcome to Video Talk. Hey, how do you feel today? I am feeling very strong, and now it's time to talk some 3D shit. Yeah, I have my 3D glasses on, and I really can't see anything from the screen, so maybe I need to remove these glasses probably. It will be more easier for me to, control the show because there is nobody else in the studio. So fuck that shit. I will wear the glasses on my head because it is the 3D films. And yeah, most of the people probably know that first thing that you think of when you're thinking about 3D films, for sure most people think some Pixar animations or Avatar or films that were made in the 2010s. But no way, I'm not gonna be talking about those suckers because in my opinion there was a lot better stuff done back in the day. And Watford FC, €8.99. I mean pounds. Thank you so much for your donation. Oh yeah, I will have a beer for you, Mr. Watford. So you're probably working now. But hey, I appreciate what a guy donates but don't even enter the show. But if you want to comment it later, I would be very much appreciated. Yeah. So okay, super chat, it didn't count because Watford sent it before the show. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. Does it notice it later? But I don't know, man. Hey, JAA is in the house. Evening and Freakazoid 85 is in the house. So what else? Who else is in the house? 22 people watching. So there's gotta be somebody else in the house as well. Terska is in the house as well. And hey, hit me with your 3D favorites. I will check out the chat because after all it's a video talk. So the point is that we create some, chat if possible, and put some ideas if you have something to say about the 3D films or some favorites or some worst evers. Put them in the chat and we will talk about them. Watford FC, thanks. Okay, Henry's Movie Blog and Volunteer, they both entered the show. Welcome. RC Rantamäki says, hello, Will, my handsome friend with big and sweaty muscles. No, I went to the shower. They are not sweaty anymore, but of course they are very huge, yeah. Just like Billy Blanks. Yeah. I probably am more white than Billy Blanks, but other than that, I can see the resemblance, yeah. And especially if we would do a martial arts showdown with Billy Blanks, I think my skills would be right up there with Billy Blanks, yeah. Alright. So, hey, remember to put those chat messages, I will check them out, and let's warm up a little bit and tell you something about 3D. So, basically, 3D is almost as old a film technique as the film itself. There has been some 3D experiments and with the stereoscopic images. Now, I won't go into too much detail about that because it's very technical and I really can't, I cannot explain how picture that is displayed a little bit from different angles, so how these glasses will fool your brain somehow that you see some of the things in 3-dimensional. But maybe the main point here is to speak about the films, of course, but a little bit from the technique. So most people probably, if they think about 3D films, will think about these red and blue or green glasses, and these were a thing. This is called anaglyph 3D, and these were things like a very low budget thing to do. But only the downside about these glasses is that you see everything only in red or green or red or blue. So most people cannot handle this. It will make your head ache very very quickly. For me, for my behalf, I have never ever watched a complete film with these anaglyph glasses. I just don't see me doing that. Serial box 3D glasses. So these are probably more better suitable for watching, single pictures or stuff like that, or some toy shit or something like that. So maybe, but not. I wouldn't recommend for anybody to watch a complete film with this. So later, in the revolution of the digital technology, there has been active classes like these before, but these were only in the cinemas, and that is something that I really cannot tell you some interesting story about that, because I really don't know when these active classes came to be. But I think they were already a thing in the 80s. But yeah, but for the older television sets, those like old, tube TVs, not flat TVs. So you really cannot do this because you need the full frames and not interlaced frames in your picture. So, but that is as technical I will go in this broadcast. But in the advent of digital technology, there came possibility for Blu-ray and on the HD TVs. Finally, there were possibility to bring home these active classes. So basically, what it does, it will activate the television, will activate the glasses, so they will flicker. These glasses will flicker so fast that you cannot see it. Unless with some in the corner of your eye, you can maybe you can spot the flickering over there. But basically, they are flickering so fast electronically. So and the flickering will combine this 3D image from your television as one 3D image in your brain. My God, what a magical thing! Janne, hello Ville, another package of DVD is on post. No, you gotta be joking me, right? Jussi Variseri is complete. Oh my god, so there's gonna be another unboxing session coming up. Oh my god. 100 says hello Ville and hello everyone. Hey, hello to you Mr. 100. But basically I have been thinking about doing this kind of 3D broadcast for a long time, and basically the last missing link that I have been waiting to see on this 3D is a film that I have never seen on 3D, but I watched it in the end in this morning, so maybe this is a good place to start. And of course, I am talking about Jaws 3D. Yes, Jaws 3D from the year 1983, directed by Joe Alves and starring Dennis Quaid, Bess Armstrong, John Butch and Lea Thompson, and also Louis Gossett Jr. as the head of this park. So Dennis Quaid is playing, was it Mike Brody or something? But the point is that Mike and his brother, they are sons of Chief Brody from the first Jaws. I was kind of expecting that maybe Chief Brody will pay a visit to the theme park here. But this Mike Brody is working in this water park. It's called, was it like Water Park of Florida or something? Sea World. Sea Park or Sea Florida or something like that. And it's a new state-of-the-art technology super tech park that includes some sort of tunnels under the water, you know, to watch some sea shit and under the water, and also tanks containing rare fish and whatnot. What do these aquariums usually have? And of course dolphins, yeah. And Mike's girlfriend is like a dolphin trainer, and yeah, they are having this kind of romance. But little do they know, God damn it, Jaws has entered the amusement park through the faulty gate. Jaws and its baby. So it's kind of like a revenge story, because they notice it that, yeah, we have a Jaws in the park and let's capture it, but they don't understand that they will capture the Jaws' baby shark. And yeah, I was kind of like surprised. Well, it's a very little Jaws there in the tank, but it was only the baby Jaws. Of course the main Jaws is like fucking 10 meters long and eats boats and whatnot. Yeah. India Phantom says, oh hell yeah, I got to see some of these 80s titles in 3D back in the day. Hey, which titles, Indie Phantom, which titles did you see? Did you see Jaws 3D back in the day? Because I didn't. Like I said, I was too little to enter the movie theater back in the year 1983 to watch Jaws. But yeah. So, basically the main concept is okay. You know, water park, underwater buildings and stuff like that. And we have Dennis Quaid as the handyman who is, trying to capture the Jaws in the park. But I think the main reason that this film gets a lot of flag is because of its very poor special effects. I mean, I have seen this list in multiple worst movies lists of all time, and many people think that this is maybe the Jaws 4 is even worse. But many people do not consider this not that great of a film. And Dennis Quaid itself said that, yeah, I snorted a lot of coke during the shoot of this film, and yeah, I kind of tried to watch it with that eye to see, do I notice something weird in Dennis Quaid's eyes or behavior or any of that? Well, I cannot point you the scenes where Dennis is high on coke, but I think there's a lot of them. But the visual effects are very poorly made. I mean, the green screen or the blue screen as it was back then, you just cannot fake blue screen. You just can't mix it with water. It looks horrible, and it looks really laughably bad, man. When, come on, something floats towards the screen. When it's done, when it's done like properly, when it was actually shot in the water, then it's okay. You know, all this underwater shit where the fish is, you know, coming at you, stuff like that, then it's okay. But man, where there's some visual effects there coming to the screen, it looks bad. And the camera lingers on that shit were for a long time. But I think actually the 3D effect is not that bad. Like I said, I watched it on 3D. This version actually, I have the Scandinavian Blu-ray, and yeah, this actually includes the 3D version. It doesn't advertise it at all. Only bonus feature, Jaws in 3D. Okay, fine. Because they really should put that in the, you know, in the main cover, in 3D version. Or put that Blu-ray DVD, 3D Blu-ray somewhere in there, because I think a lot of people didn't back in the day even notice it. This kind of cheap budget class Blu-ray that you couldn't even figure out that, yeah, it even includes a 3D version. But anyways, well, I think this is probably a little bit better than its reputation. Yeah, the visual effects, they are very bad, but I think the film goes on very well. It's not boring in any place, and if you get kicks from bad effects like I do, then you get kicks from this. I mean, man, when the shark in the end collides with the window, I think that's gonna be the worst special effects ever made. But I was laughing. But other than that, I really do like Dennis Quaid's performance, and hey, Lea Thompson is there, so everybody's giving good performances. And yeah, it is watchable. I would give it a 3 stars, and I can see myself watching this sometime again. Maybe it's gonna be like a Jaws marathon sometime. And if I'm watching this again, it's gotta be on 3D, because it was made to be seen in 3D. So yeah, Jaws 3D, 3 stars. How did they get Dennis Quaid in Jaws 3? Was it his first roles? Not his first, but I think one of his early roles. Yeah. I don't think Dennis Quaid was not a, you know, very familiar name. I mean, what's the right stuff? It probably came after this and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely his first films. Man Who Wasn't There 3D comedy with Steve Guttenberg is in its first run. Hey, I haven't never heard of that. Friday the 13th Part 3, I saw it in 1991 at its revival. Well, hey, I'm a little bit envious of that. Even Jaws was snoring on that shoot. yeah. The special effects guy and this Jaws, they were snoring that snow up their noses. Does Sharknado come in 3D? I don't think so. I really don't. I have seen Sharknado 1, and I do believe there's like 8 Sharknado films, but really, that don't interest me too much. Okay, hey, I also liked actor whose handheld hand grenade shark's mouth man was also Robbers in the Sacred Mountain. Yeah, the Australian guy, yeah. I was wondering how much time does it take for Jaws to swallow its victims, because this guy died like half an hour ago. He was still in the mouth with his hand grenade like this. Hey, pull the pin. Hey, pull the pin. Okay. Hey, sticking with Universal, this is a Universal film and they did a shit ton of money with this film, but this is by no means the first Universal underwater 3D film. I'm talking about Creature from the Black Lagoon. And let's go back in time to the 50s. 1954 to be exact. Most people say, lots of people say that the 50s was the golden time of science fiction, but it was also the golden time of 3D films. Yeah, lots of 3D films were made back then, and this is one of them. And I do have to, marvel the things that how could they do this 3D effect underwater, and it looks as good as in the Jaws, the 3D shots. Underwater shots. How did they do this back in the 50s when the cameras were like huge? They weighed like 100 pounds. So I don't know how they did it, but they did. And Creature from the Black Lagoon, it's a classic film. Jack Arnold directed classic science fiction film starring Richard Carlson and Julie Adams and Richard Denning. And by the way, Richard Carlson was also in the next 3D Jack Arnold 3D film. It came from outer space, which we'll be talking about shortly. But yeah, Universal Classic Monster, they even accepted this as a classic Universal monster, after that. And the creature design is awesome. And I don't know how did they really pull this off back in the 90s, 1950s. But I do have to say, okay, so I trust that everybody has seen this, but for those who have not seen it, it's about a bunch of archaeologists who go to this Black Lagoon to find the fossil of this. They found this hand sticking out to the camera from the sand. Nice effect, by the way. And then they go investigate to the Black Lagoon, and little do they know, there's still a living creature in that Black Lagoon, and the creature blocks them from escaping the lagoon and then stalks them one by one on their boat. So it's kind of like a survival horror story made in the 50s, yeah. Maybe the ending could be a little bit exciting because it's the duration is I don't know. Doesn't say. But I have written down that maybe the ending could be more exciting. It kind of repeats itself in the end, in the final 15 minutes. But it's a really a minor nitpick, if you will. And yeah, I can recommend this if monster films and science fiction films of the 50s is your favorite cup of tea. And I do have to compliment the 3D effect in this film. It is, like I said, it is amazing, and it is very well implemented. It is used where there has to be something, kind of cleverly put in the story. Compliments to it. Yeah, I would give this a 4-star rating. That is cool. I don't know if Jaws 3 was released in 3D in North America. I never got a 3D TV, but should get a cheap one someday. I'm addicted to my projector, yeah. I have a 3D TV still in my sleeping quarters, in my, how do you say, balcony. In the sleeping balcony, and yeah, they started manufacturing 3D TVs back in the, I think 2010 something, but they ended including in the new TVs in the 3D effect in the 2017. Maybe the time passed on and they didn't want to, it was, I read from somewhere, it is because of the logistic reasons. So I don't know. I think I read that yeah, they were not selling anymore. 3D was not anymore a key selling point, so they ended the production of 3D TVs. And I really don't know if you can get a 3D TV used. You probably can. Of course you can, but if you have a 3D TV, I think most of you people don't have. And hey, I think that's a time for Gallup. Do you have a 3D television set? Okay, there's a Gallup, so vote if you have 3D television. Or if you don't know. Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone in 3D. Lots of fun. Hey, I do have that Space Hunter film. I have watched it, but is there a 3D version released? Because I'm not sure. But I think I have it on VHS. I don't have the in other or DVD or Blu-ray. So, India fandom, Warlock, say, do you have the Blu-ray and is it on Blu-ray? I'm interested in it. Funny thing in Jaws 3 that is Louis Gossett Jr. Hey, we are eating dinner here. Yeah, I remember the scene. Yeah, this guy comes warn about these things that there's a shark. Hey, don't. We are eating dinner here, yeah. Creature from Black Lagoon was the first film I saw in 3D. Our school in grade 5 had movies every Friday and they brought a 60mm print and had glasses for our whole school. We were blown away by it, yeah. Hey, good thing about these early black and white 3D films that these work very well with, you know, the red-green glasses as well, because the effect, you know, you don't have any other color, so you might tolerate to watch completely this film on these older glasses. But in this version, as in the Universal other release that I show you, this also similarly like in the Jaws, it says that as an extra bonus feature there is a 3D version of the film, and same goes here. This was probably never released in Scandinavia, but I have the UK version of from It Came From Outer Space, the earlier film from Jack Arnold. Was it from 1952? From 53. Yeah. And in this film, it's like a classic science fiction tale from the 50s. There's this astronomer guy, and with his girlfriend or fiancée, they notice that there's the meteorite falling to the desert, and they go investigate, and they see the UFO, or the guy sees the UFO right before the cave collapses in, and little they know that there's some space alien that we never get to see, but they invade people's minds. So basically the 3D effect here is only to serve this like this alien eye effect, and yeah, it's pretty effective and nice. But I would say that this has more advanced 3D effect, this Creature from Black Lagoon, but this is a good, like a test field for that. They really were trying to, experiment what could they do with this 3D thing. So yeah, and yeah, if you would ask me, hey, recommend me one science fiction film from the 1950s, what would be something that really describes the whole generation of films, or the whole era of films? I think It Came From Outer Space, because this includes every necessary ingredients that these 90s 50 films include. Mind control, UFO, creatures that are never seen in the front of camera. And by the way, did you know that this is probably the first time that this point of view of something sinister is used in the film? Of course, nowadays it's a horror trope that, yeah, of course we see something from the eyes of the hunter or from the monster or something, but I read from somewhere that this is the first time that this gimmick was ever used, and this gimmick is used as a 3D effect. Of course, I was bullshitting you previously. Of course we see these brain creatures, but they're like flying towards you in this 3D effect. But yeah, nice little film. But I think Creature from the Black Lagoon is more better film. But I would recommend this more if you're interested in the 1950s science fiction and you have not seen that many films from that era. And also, but if you would ask me a 1950s science fiction film that I should watch it on 3D, this would be it. Yeah. I recall, but not sure. I know Space Hunter pairs well with Metalstorm. We'll be talking about that. Metalstorm, yes. Been years since I saw either of them. I saw Space Hunter in the theater in 3D. Hoo boy, I'm old. Okay, yeah, that came out. Was it 1985 or something? Hello, Mr. J.K. Knutipas. Space Hunter I saw in 3D with my dad and in drive-in theater. I think it was after Blue Thunder. Nice double feature right there. The black and white works well with the red-blue anaglyph. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Hey, one more film from the 50s. I talked about this in our Finnish 50s science fiction broadcast, and I'm talking about Gog. Gog is the name of the robot that works in this special USA military laboratory where this strange death occurs, and this science guy, FBI, CIA agent whatsoever, he goes to the space station, to the underground military installation to investigate what's going on. And basically this is I don't say that this is like very good film, but it's an interesting film. You know, it was directed by Herbert L. Strock, and it is based on a science fiction story by Ivan Tors. He was this kind of science fiction author, and was not at all interested about monsters or lasers and robots and any of that. Ivan Tors was mostly known and interested about science itself, and this film is really oozing out of science, because basically a lot of the contents of this film is that this guy goes around there and somebody explains that, oh yeah, we have these devices in this room, and yeah, we could do in the future like this and whatnot. But this Gog, these radio operated robots, they are working, and yeah, it turns out that some foreign government, who might those be, they are controlling the Gogs to kill people. And the Gogs, they really do appear, maybe 10 minutes in this whole film, which is named after Gogs. And yeah, they look funny. These Gogs look really funny, and this is a good example of film that really shouldn't be in 3D. I mean, it doesn't need to be, because most of the content is like conversation, and the science fiction apparatus, they're not, really not trying to boost it into 3D. Any of that, none of that shit. I don't know. Interesting film, but it doesn't really need to be on a 3D Blu-ray. And this was released by Kino Lorber and mastered by 3D Film Archive. I think the more interesting story about this film is the extra feature that describes the painstaking work that they went through when they were trying to remaster this, because this was thought that for a long time thought that it was a lost film in the 3D format, because they couldn't from anywhere they couldn't find the other eye picture, but then they came out. But if you're interested, check this out and get it from Kino Lorber. I have put links in the description of this video to get this and other cool 3D films from Amazon from Kino Lorber, and I think they're actually on sale right now. These like $15 per piece. These Kino Lorbers in 3D, so I think it's a good price. Yeah. If I had to rate this, maybe 2 stars. Yeah. And maybe next time if I watch this, I don't have to watch it on 3D. All the respect for the restoration people to make it look this good on Blu-ray 3D, but it's a film that really doesn't need to be on 3D. I have said that too many times already, so moving on. Let's check out what you have said there. I saw Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder in 3D when it was shown again a few years ago, and I thought it used 3D so well. Hey, I have to see that. I have never even seen the film at all. And J.K. Knutipa asked, are there only 3D versions on those Blu-ray discs, or are there normal 2D versions? Yes, every 3D version, they come with the regular version. I have never encountered a film that would not include the 3D and 2D version, and I think you can just push in your 3D television. You just can switch it off, this 3D effect, so, and it will, play regularly. I will talk about that a little bit later, because I almost had that type of case that I was wondering what the hell is going on, but moving on. Soja Makkara says, just came back from outside with the dogs. My 3D TV broke because of the thunder this summer. Oh my god. That is a sad story. So, Soja Makkara, are you gonna get another one? Probably not. Terskatti say, I remember those movie theater 3D glasses were so heavy. Yes, in Avatar, in the times of Avatar, when they, introduced this technology, they were heavy, yeah. It put a lot of pressure in the bridge of my nose, and after an hour or so, my face was so in agony, yeah. You gonna like Dial M for Murder 3D or not? Well, do you know that if the Blu-ray version that has been released in Scandinavia, do you think it will include the 3D version? It would make sense that it would, because I think it's from Universal and they have done an excellent job distributing their 3D. But yeah, I didn't even know that Hitchcock has made a 3D film. That's why I do Videotalk, so I learn new things from you guys. Soja Makkara says, I have plenty of 3D movies, but I never really enjoyed the effect. So if I could get a smaller one for the smaller fee, I might get a new one. Blisken only has a finished DVD, so can't say. Dial M, has it come out on 4K already? 31 votes, and only 60% of you guys have a 3D television set. And I'm glad that everybody knows do they have it or not. I will leave this on for a little more moments. And hey, by the way, could you hit that like button as well? I would appreciate it, because 42 people is watching. There were a few 3D movies back made in the early 2000s I remember picking up. None of them were mainstream or really much good. Always a gimmick. Alright. Hey, then we will move to the 70s, and oh yeah, I don't, there's probably 3D films made in the 1960s, but point is that if I don't have it, and I have not seen it, so it's not point for me to include it in it. But feel free to say in the chat if I missed something or if I should see something. I know there's House of Wax, and I know about the film called The Mask, but I don't have those. Last time somebody said that The Mask is very good, so maybe I need to order that someday, but I don't have it. Has there ever been a 3D adult movie? Yes, there has. I think they made quite a few of them back in the middle of 2010s. But I have seen a few of them, and they are not really trying to show off the gimmick there. And maybe it's for the best. Okay, so moving to the 1970s, I almost even forgot about this little film. I have talked this a bit before, so will not go into much detail about this, but Vinegar Syndrome put out the Flesh of Frankenstein. Flesh for Frankenstein in 3D, god damn it! And this was a long time like this holy grail of 3D films that I was looking for, because it was absolutely impossible to find in 3D format. And yes, they also put out the 4K release of that, and I do have the 4K, and inside here is the fix 4K HDR fix disc, which I have not yet watched, but there was some color restoration error in the HDR version, so I'm glad they fixed it. But let's talk about the 3D version of it. So the story is clear. Udo Kier is playing this Dr. Frankenstein, and he is trying to build an army of super soldiers, and his strategy is to, create a female and a man monster using body parts from other people. And for some reason he believes that their children will help him to rule the world. I would like to see the sequel for that, and I would like to see Frankenstein succeed to breed some of these new super mutant people, and I would like to see what he plans to do with them next. How would you conquer the Earth? How would you do that? That is what interested me. But coming back to this film, so they kill this gay character who is more interested about his friend played by Joey D'Alessandro, and they chop off his head and put it on the male monster. So this male monster only wants to date guys and mate with the guys, so it's impossible to have him mate with the female monster. So very, very gory film, lots of fun gore effects, and it's a horror comedy. I mean, Udo Kier and Joe D'Alessandro, and especially the guy who is the Udo Kier's assistant, Arno Jurgin. I think they are doing amazing job. I laughed out loud so many times during this film. And the 3D effect, yeah, I think it is utilized well enough, and there's some guts hanging to the screen. This was probably the first gore film to utilize 3D effect, and oh yeah, guts hanging to the screen, and spears going through people, and the spear is tingling towards your eyes and stuff like that. But also I was kind of surprised that this was made in the Dino De Laurentiis studios, and the studio design is very, very well made for the 3D, so you get this kind of nice layer effect the whole time. So maybe it could be even more gimmicky, but I don't regret seeing Flesh for Frankenstein in 3D finally. So thanks goes to Vinegar Syndrome, and yeah, you can also get this from the link I have put it from this below of this description text if you are interested to get this get this fine film in 3D and on 4K. And they, as many of you know, the same people, they directed Paul Morrison and Udo Kier and also Joe DeLasandro, they also made Blood for Dracula, and that was also meant to be in 3D, but they were like, fuck that shit. It is so hard to do back in the day with using, you know, film cameras. It is so fucking hard to do. Everything takes so much time. So fuck that 3D. Fuck that 3D up the ass. Let's make it like a regular film, and they did. So I was it could be very awesome to see also Blood for Dracula if they would have done that in 3D. I think it would have been also a very, very awesome experience, and I recommend that too if you have not seen it. Watch them if possible. Watch them, you know, watch them in a marathon. You'll love it. Hey, Diomies is in the house. I'm a sucker for 3D Blu-rays, even kids movies, which I don't even bother watching. But I have to buy them all. For sure they will become collector's items someday. So Diomies, I assume that you voted for yes in the Gallup. You are one of those few people that still have a 3D television set. 34 votes. But if you thought that Flesh for Frankenstein is a trashy kind of fun, wait until you get a load of Ape 3D, goddammit, Ape in the fucking 3D, and Ape is a you know short for attacking primate monster. This film was made in South Korea. Hey, by the way, I forgot to give stars Flesh for Frankenstein. 4 stars for Flesh for Frankenstein. Okay, continuing with the attacking prime monster. South Korea and USA are the manufacturing of countries of this thing. But it was shot in the USA, basically made with the American director and cast, but all the other guys were from South Korea and probably the funding too. And it was directed by Paul Leder and starring some persons called Rod Arons, John Girls and Alex Nichol. Okay, I have watched this 3 times, and the last time I watched it, it was on 3D. You know, because I had to actually get 3D region-free 3D player in order to play this Kinolorber discs, and this is region A. So be aware if you live in Europe and don't have a region free Blu-ray player which supports 3D, so you probably can't watch the 3D version, but you certainly can watch the 2D version. But in this movie, the ape, a giant gorilla, he enters the South Korean capital, is it Seoul? He enters there and first he wrestles a shark, and it was actually a real dead shark. And this actor who is in this poor actor who is in this gorilla suit, in the water, I just can't imagine how foul the stench has been. He is fighting from this shark corpse, which were bought from some market. Oh my god. And that is only the beginning. He also wrestles with the giant snake, and then he destroys some lighthouse, and then he enters to Seoul. And there he will see that this American film group, and they're shooting like this very weird film. I mean, the film presents us, this one scene that they're shooting, and then there's this American girl, and we are kind of like previously led to believe that this is some sort of romantic film. But in that scene, what happens is this guy goes, dsh, dsh, he's beating this girl, and I'm gonna rape you, something like that. So the girl runs away from him, and she runs to the outside, and I don't know why she runs, like 2 kilometers, because the cameras are in the inside. I don't know, but there she meets Ape, and of course, in the good old-fashioned King Kong tradition, the ape, he falls love in this American beauty. And of course he goes on destroying buildings, and then helicopters try to shoot him, and in one scene the ape even he gives the finger. Can I find a picture? Can I find you a picture where the ape Wait a second. Yeah. Wait a second. If you have ever seen this picture on internet, notice that this is from this film, Ape. Ape 3D. Ape giving a finger. So basically, like I said, I have watched the Ape like 3 times. It never gets old, but I'm a aficionado of bad movies, and I think Ape is one of the great ones. Give this a chance, because I think this is one of those films that are very hard to explain. You have to experience for yourself. You gotta. Yeah. And in my first review, I said that Ape is one of those films that you give it a 0 star or you give it a 5-star rating. 5 stars. 5 freaking stars for the Ape and for the finger, man. Vinegar Syndrome also offer Silent Madness in 3D. Yeah, we will probably talking about that very soon. Let's remove the ape finger there and go on with our 3D story. All right. So 2 more films from the 80s, and these were done by the same people from them. How have I never even heard of the Ape before? Well, I think it could be a little bit kind of like a hidden secret for now, but check it out. There's a link below if you want to get Ape. Ape seemed like 60s movies or what? Well, many of these films look like they were 60s, but it was, didn't I say it was from the year 1976? So basically pretty new. And yeah, hey, moving on. And this time, to my knowledge, these are the only 70s martial arts films that were shot on 3D, and both of them are by the same director, Mei Chung Chang, and starring Ying Bai and bunch of other Korean names, or which country that this was made. But I'm talking about these 2. Revenge of the Shogun Woman from year 1977 and Dynasty from year 1977 as well. And yeah, both of these are martial arts films, and in this Revenge of the Shogun Woman, it tells a story about when a woman is raped by 18th century Thai China by some thugs. The only chance for her is to join this kung fu monastery of shogun women, and yeah, and this is exactly what happens to our main character, and she goes to the monastery and learns the kung fu, and Of course, the same bunch of assholes, they are, wreaking havoc in the nearby village. And yeah, there's gonna be lots of martial arts mayhem in this. Lots of kung fu mayhem ensues. The fights are not that special, except for that this one guy with the hair. You could say that hair fu is the thing. Whoa! Look, I beat my 3D glasses with the hair fu. But I have to say that the fights are very bloody in this film. There's constantly, somebody getting like sliced, and there's lots of blood on their faces. And that is exactly how you like your 70s kung fu film. Both of these films were made using this kind of I don't remember what was the term called. It's super touch lens system 3D. So this was kind of like this very easy to use low budget 3D system, and basically what this super this just rolls down your tongue. Super touch lens system by 3D. Basically what it does, you insert this kind of set of mirrors to your regular film camera, and using whatever optics you want to use, and these mirrors kind of reflect that picture to the film over each other, so giving you the effect that it's a 3D. And I gotta say that the 3D effect, even though it's not made by these like a real 3D systems, more expensive, more hard to use, it actually looks pretty good. I have to give these guys a huge credit of it. And and in this dynasty, made in the same year, and there's a bunch of eunuchs. Yeah, eunuchs, the guys without dicks, and they are fighting over this throne. Basically, you can just put this plot line to the garbage bin. Just remember that these guys are eunuchs. Something about Emperor's son being accused of something, and yeah, that son, by the way, he's a real death machine. I mean, this guy can take out whole armies by himself. So why would you even bother accusing him of anything? I don't know. Clearly this guy is a killer. But it was kind of more hard to follow because all these characters and Chinese names. But yeah, the plot is not that important in the 3D kung fu film. The 3D effect is actually pretty impressive in this as well. All kinds of shit flies at you in this film. Rocks, little coins, spears and arrows. But my favorite was this kung fu dildo that this one monk uses. I don't know what is this actually called, but this really big badong that comes from between his legs. Maybe he did that to compensate the eunuch in himself, but I don't know. The important thing that I was entertained. Yeah. And this too is pretty bloody kung fu flick, and actually this kind of looked that some of the scenes could have been shortened by the MPA back in the day it was released. Maybe some head choppers, they ended pretty abruptly, so I was instantly suspected that maybe it's a censorship call, maybe it is. Yeah. For these, I will give 3 stars both. It's a good watching, and these two are in sale. If you are interested in these, go check out the links. And yeah, both of these are from Kino Lorbers, so be prepared that these are for a region only on Blu-ray. So then came the 1980s, and I already talked about the Jaws 3D, but there were, two films that really preceded the Jaws 3 films, and they both were independent, and the second of these was Parasite, directed by Charles Band, and Demi Moore's first film. Can you freaking believe it? Demi Moore's breakthrough film, or it was not a breakthrough, but her debut role was on this film. It has been a while. I admit it has been a while since I last watched it, and it was something about this scientist in the post-nuclear apocalypse world creating this yucky parasite, and he has to leave his laboratory, so he injects the parasite to itself, and then he got wanted by this bounty hunter who tries to hunt him but never catches him, but this juvenile gang beats him up, and accidentally the parasite gets attached to this gang. So this is definitely a rated R film, and this was actually in the Finnish cinemas back in the day, and another channel from Finland called Elokuva Sensory said that he has seen this in the cinemas and everything was cut. Every 3D gore effect, which there are quite a few, they were cut. And would I be completely lying that was this some famous creature effect designer involved with this film? I don't know. Stan Winston. Oh right, Stan Winston. Yeah, I remembered correctly. One of the first Stan Winston's gig was this film, and yeah, the special effects in this film were very nice and bloody, and that 3D effect, if my memory serves me correctly, was pretty okay. So great set of extras on this one, and from Kino Lorber also on sale. Check it out. Demi Moore, hey, can't go wrong with that. And this is also Kino Lorber and Studio Canal and Region A locked. I recommend this. I will give these 3.5 stars. Yeah. Whatzilla has entered the chat. Whoa, yeah, Whatzilla 74, $10. I'm sorry I'm late. Let's drink. Hey, let's do that. Yeah, Whatzilla. Ooh. I'm still on my holiday, so I can get it on. And do you, by the way, have you, Whatzilla, answered the Gallup? Do you have 3D television? Or are you at all interested in 3D? Thank you so much. Hebbo says that sounds like Kill Bill was inspired of that movie. You're probably referring these Taiwanese, what's there, Korean or Taiwanese films. Revenge of the Shogun Woman and Dynasty. Hey, Remy is also in the house. Hey, good evening. Maybe this is too early. I have think to myself, it's too early to start the show in this time. It's like 7 p.m. back in Finland. So maybe if I should start this, 8 p.m. maybe more people would have time to, enter the show. Maybe. Whatzilla says, no, but I'm getting a 4K laser 3D projector. Holy shit. So you probably need to get yourself also a 3D capable player to go for that, because then you can enjoy films like Ape or Revenge of the Shogun Ladies. But Ape, this is the stuff of legends. So what happened in this film? So this was pretty good success, and the Universal called to Charles Brandt, hey, yo man, what you doing? Could you do us another 3D feature? Hey, actually I'm doing a 3D feature. And this came to be Metalstorm, the destruction of Jared Sin in 3 freaking DVD, D3DDs, all the up the ass, 3DD. So... Godzilla is also getting a region-free 4K 3D player. Well, that's some expensive hardware you got there, Mr. Godzilla. Alright, so this is kind of like a spiritual sequel to, Parasite, but this is PG-13, this is not an R-rated horror film, but this also is an action film set in the post-apocalyptic world, but not necessarily in our world. It's more like this He-Man world. So then there's this, Mad Max nomad kind of type guy who goes around looking for Jared Sin because he's the lawman. It is his mission to kill down all the evil characters. And this Jared Sin uses this kind of strange dimensional poisons. He is using this one guy with this weird mechanical arm to squirt this fucking shit all over them and then send them in another reality. And this Jared Sin is played by the Jeffrey Byron, a guy who is mostly known from Mad Max 2. And this is also starring somebody called Kelly Preston. So I was kind of wondering, because this main character is called, he is Mike Preston, so are they related? I don't know. But yeah, this was one of the first Videotalk videos I ever did. It was a standalone video, not a stream, so maybe I put a link so you can check it out. More information about this, but I'm not gonna go into full-blown rating. I will say that this is a very short film, only like 75 minutes without the end credits. And the end credits seems to roll like 10 minutes or something like that. It's crazy. So they really pan out the duration of this film. And yeah, most of the film consists like this hero driving a car in these gravel pits. This futuristic car in these travel bits and driving real slowly, so you can easily pan your duration using every goddamn driving scene you have. But yeah, I'm not complaining. It's it's kind of imaginative film. It's kind of well made film. The 3D effect is actually pretty impressive, especially in the final showdown where this kind of they're driving in these weird laser shuttles in this dimensional, I don't even know. But yeah, sure enough, it's very ambitious film, and they clearly were expecting that they're gonna be making a sequel for this, but they never did. But this was shown back to back with as a double bill with Jaws 3D by the Universal request, and this film made a shit ton of money in the riding the success of Jaws 3, and this film actually made it possible that Charles Band managed to assemble his own company, Full Moon Pictures. So maybe you could consider that this is pretty significant film created. You probably won't say that Full Moon features are the best films ever made, but they have done a lot of genre films, and maybe that is a story for another time. But Metalstorm, I will give these 3 stars. It's a classic film from my childhood, because here I have the Videodraws Finnish videotape Teräsmyrsky, which means Metalstorm. And yeah, this is a classic tape that I have had like 20 years at least on my shelf. And I was very glad when I got this was the first film I watched when I got this region-free Blu-ray player. This is region A-locked, which sucks. But I was very happy that I finally can see Metalstorm, the destruction of Jared scene in freaking 3D, man. But yeah, never seen this one. Remu has not seen it, but Diomias has seen it and says Metalstorm is just a nice cheese. Still kicking myself not or buying Planet Hollywood leather jacket signed by Rennie, Gina and Bruce and Demi for 20 euros. Now I would pay 200 euros in seconds. Well, 20 euros, hey, that would have been a bargain. Man, I bet you can make like 500 euros today if you would put that in on sale. Diomias, gotta tell you, you fucked up, man. You fucked up. Hey, Vatsila has also seen Love Metalstorm. I saw it in the theater. Man, did you see it in 3D? Hey, by the way, is there anybody who is that old that have a ability to see 3D movies in the 80s? So, what kind of glasses they did have for the 3D presentations? Were they like these new type of glasses? You know, these active glasses which you can see the color as well, or were they like these anaglyphic glasses with this red and green or blue shit goggles in them? Can somebody explain to me that? Yes, sir. Watsila have seen it, and they were red and blue. Man, I think if you love Metalstorm, you need to see that again on, you know, active glasses. I think you will enjoy it even more. Lino Machetti, no way, they were cheap cardboard with one red and one green. Red and green was the only option. How come I'm in that belief that the active glasses were somehow, or these polarized glasses were somehow implemented back in the 80s? Because I think that is something that I really cannot find any information about. When did these new kind of glasses came to be? Snake Plissken says, saw your favorite movie, Freddy's Dead, in theater back in the 90s with the paper glasses. Yes, I know, Freddy's Dead got this final fight got this, you know, that is definitely red and green, red blue glasses using that. And I hope if they, you know, do a Freddy 4K box, I would hope that they would, you know, add their Blu-ray with this Freddy's Dead with active glasses. That would be the shit, man. Polarizing glasses was only for slideshows, top of the line technology in even 10. Okay, hey, Diomes, that is great information. Thank you. Okay. Watsila says, saw them all back in the day. Friday 3 looked the best and Jaws 3 looked the worst. Okay. So I think one of the problems with the old kind of 3D was that, yeah, it was very hard to shoot, but also the projectionists, they really needed to, you know their shit, because if the pictures were at any kind of, you know, unsynced, so the 3D effect wouldn't work and it would look like garbage. So that is probably the reason that they really didn't make that many films in 3D back in the 1980s. Maybe. Alright. So, 10. Let's talk about a film from 1983. You probably remember this because I unboxed this like 2 months back, and this is directed by Ferdinando Baldi and starring none other than Tony Anthony and Gene Guindano. This guy was he got rich when he did this screenplay for a little known 80s comedy called Police Academy. So Gene Quintamano hit that pay dirt. And also this is starring wait a second. Francisco Rabal is in this also. And yeah, this is a successor to their other Tony Anthony, Ferdinando Baldi and Gene Quintano 3D project, which was a huge success. I'm talking about Coming At You. And Coming At You came out in 1981, and this was made 2 years later. And this is kind of like, this is not a western like the Coming At You film, but this is more like an Indiana Jones spoof. So yeah, Tony Anthony plays Indiana Jones in this film, and this film opens, I shit you not, this film opens like 20-minute scene. So if you remember the opening scene from the Raiders of Lost Ark, so picture that and make it 20-minute scene, and Tony Anthony entering this castle. And man, there's some perils in there. There's goddamn dogs and bats and bears and wolves and holy shit whatnot, arrows and all kinds of traps. And they're just sitting in there in this one abandoned castle. So what he does there is to get this treasure of 4 crowns. There's 4 crowns. And if you combine these 4 crowns, so maybe you can dominate world for I don't know why, but some magical powers in these 4 crowns. So basically, this opening scene, I was like, wow! I'm a very big Tony Anthony. Tony Anthony is the guy who made this Stranger trilogy, and there was 4 Stranger films, 4 Western films, and he's more known of those spaghetti westerns. And so, yeah, and also Coming At Ya, which I will talk about that later. He made these kind of the only spaghetti western in 3D. So I was a big fan of Tony Anthony's work, and especially his work on 3D. So I was very excited to finally see this, because this was released in this summer, and of course by the Kino Lorber and 3D Film Archive in Blu-ray 3D. So I was like, this opening scene is so amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's avant-garde. The film doesn't have to have plot. I mean, okay, then the plot enters, so, and then it becomes like a pretty stale. So basically, the 3D picks up only at the final scenes. So you're gonna have to wait that for a long time. But nevertheless, it was a good and very good special effects showdown in the end. With this, Raiders of the Lost Ark ending. So basically, we have similar type of spirit shit in there. So it's great. It's great. I would rate this 3-star film, and maybe probably most of you have never even heard about Treasure of 4 Crowns in Super Vision 3D. Nice slipcover we have here. I recommend it. Yeah, Anaglyphic needs only 1 reel. 3D version needs 2 reels and 2 projects. Yeah, that is very hard to pull with the film projectors. Very hard thing to do. Wadzilla has never seen this one, probably meaning this. I loved Amityville 3D poster. My brother had it on its room. Cool monster hand. Yeah, I remember that. Saw that and Christmas Story in the theater back in the same day. Well, that's a weird combination. Treasure of Four Crowns and Christmas Story. Okay, so let's discuss a little bit about Amityville 3D. This, as you can see, is only DVD. I have the Finnish DVD here, but I have never actually seen this in 3D. This includes 2 3D glasses, and this DVD includes both the anaglyphic and the regular version. But yeah, like I said, I'm not that keen to watch 3D films on these goggles. Does anybody? I think this has been released through Shout Factory, but I didn't have time to check. Is that in active class? Is that in 3D, Blu-ray 3D, or is it only on this crappy red green shit? But what comes to this film itself, I really can't compliment. It's not that great. I mean, Amityville 1 and especially Amityville 2, they are pretty disturbing horror films. But in this third film, they really, they were so excited about these 3D effects, and maybe this was also in a lot of production difficulties because it is really kind of very lame film with lots of very talkative film, and I don't know how many times I have seen this, and I always think the same. It's lame. It's lame. I don't believe it is in 3D on Shout Factory. Okay, have to find this out, but if it's not, then it is probably the best version because it's a Blu-ray. But yeah, I only have this, so I really cannot comment on this 3D effect. That's too bad, because it would be awesome to see this monster hand coming to your face through the screen. Okay, speaking of horrors, let's move it to the hot potato in the house. Now, Friday the 13th part 2. Alright. I mean 3. Friday the 13th part 3D, and this was released in year 1982 through Paramount Pictures, and yeah, this is one of the 2 slasher films in the 80s that I know that have been made in 3D, and yeah, this is the better one. Of course, in this horror film, Jason Voorhees, played by Richard Brooker. Have to check. Richard Brooker, and he returns from the to Camp Crystal Lake. Basically, this film should be called like Monday the 16th or something, because clearly this happens. This is kind of like a Friday the 13th trilogy, because Friday the 13th part 2, this continues directly where the part 2 left off, and Friday the 13th part 4 continues from there. So, okay. So, probably that is not that important. So, Jason is out there in the woods, and this time he is really actually the supernatural killer, and he switches his bag for the iconic ice hockey mask. Everybody probably has seen this film. I think this is a very okay entry in the series because the characters are interesting, and also at least more interesting than your usual Friday the 13th characters. And the kills are pretty good, and yeah, this got by the MPAA, but still the kills are pretty good, and especially in the 3D version. And this is the only way to see this film in the real 3D, because I think even the Blu-ray version, which was released in the United States, has the anaglyphic version of it, and with these crappy red green shit glasses there. And yeah, by the way, I have the fixed disc that I have not seen. There was probably some error in the 3D in the opening credits, but I didn't see any. I have only seen it once on this 3D. But yeah, like I said, 3D effect is pretty well utilized here. You know, yo-yos coming at the camera, and you know, the arrow goes through this one guy's head and the eye pops out and whatnot. And all these are, you know, like cleverly made for the 3D effect. And I like it. I like it. I like it. And I do like it that Shout Factory went for extra mileage and put the 3D version. I really, because I don't think it's an easy way, even for the restoration process, to, you know, make these from old films to, you know, make it 3D. And this was done without the help of 3D Film Archive. So salute to the Shout Factory. Hexacore says, I have the box set on Shout Factory, which includes Amityville 3D in stereoscopic, real 3D. Okay, thank you, Hexacore. So it is in real 3D. Maybe I need to get that. I saw this in the drive-in 3D when it came out a few years ago in 3D at the local theater. Vatsila, you're one lucky guy, man. Alright, not the best Jason film, but I think it's a good entry. It's in between. It's more better entry than the most of it. So I have seen this plenty of times that it always manages to entertain me. Yeah. 10, another 80s slasher, which somebody mentioned already. It's the silent terror released by Vinegar Syndrome, and also including the very rare and poorly, not very well-known 3D version. And this comes in 3 versions, the standard version and the anaglyphic version, which you must use this silent Madness signed glasses, and also in the real 3D, which was the one that I watched. So believe it or not, in this film there's a computer error in the mental institute, and thus they let go a very dangerous serial killer. Okay. Not that dramatic as like a prison escape or anything, but a computer error. So of course this guy goes back to his old hood, which was this like a campus where he killed a couple of people, and he goes back there and starts to kill again. Was he the killer or was it somebody else? I really don't remember, because it was kind of like a very forgettable film, you know. There's some kills and some are okay. The one that pops to my mind is where the killer throws an axe to the back of this girl, which is depicted here in the poster as well. Yeah. But all in all, a pretty forgettable film. Some gore effects and some nudity was there, but overall, too much talking. That's a capital crime of a slasher film. Don't bother, you know, yourself with talking. So go into the action, especially if you're trying to sell it as a 3D film. God damn it. And I previously had this on the Silent Madness, the Finnish VHS. Gotta show these also. every time. And this is the cut version and obviously doesn't include any 3D version, but notice that this cover poster doesn't even mention that. And I love the film so much, so I have another from Europa Vision, Silent Madness, Hiljainen Tappaja, which means the silent killer. And yeah, both of them are cut versions of this, and yeah. I would rate it, 2 stars at the most. Maybe you could check it out, drink some beers and check it out then, but don't bother otherwise. Okay, so one more film. I wanted to leave it for the last one because this is the reason that the 3D boom began in the 80s. This was distributed independently only in 2 theaters in the United States, and it was selling like a motherfucker. So it got their big players' attention. So Paramount and also the Universal, they made their own projects in 3D because of this film. I'm talking about Tony Anthony's film Coming at Ya. It's a western, and this was directed by Ferdinando Dubaldi and starring Tony Anthony, who is also the producer, and written by Gene Quintano, and who is also the producer. And they were salesmen, Gene Quintano and his partner, and they were looking to make, like 3D films. And they found Tony Anthony, who was also interested in this technique. And Tony Anthony, like I said previously, had done some spaghetti westerns, Stranger in Town and stuff like that. So he was very excited to do first 3D spaghetti western, maybe the first 3D western ever, maybe the only 3D western to this date. I don't know. Can you say any other 3D westerns? I don't know. I really can't think of any from the top of my head, but please enter it in the chat if you know anything. So they were trying to make a horror film in 3D, but they cancelled the idea because they thought that horror film market was so saturated. So they went for western, and yeah, they went out really guns blazing, and really these guys really understand. They really understood what this technology is all about. It's not Oscar-winning performances, it's not a great story, it's not about talking heads, none of that shit. It's about great visuals, great gimmicks, great entertainment, There's shit flying constantly at you. Come on, there's arrows and axes and spears flying at you. Snakes are attacking to the screen. Coins are tossed over you. Rats are throwing in. Like, come on, even a bear baby's ass is, brought to your face in 3D film. And there's fireworks, there's explosions, and they are all at the cost of logicness. Is that a word? I don't know. The logicality of the story, or it's like it's 3D over substance. 3D over anything. This is a 3D film. It's a gimmicky, yeah, sure. It's supposed to be. I really enjoyed. I have seen this many of times. This Blu-ray from MVD Visual, which is region free. That is great, and that is also in the links below if you want to see it. And this is one hell of a violent spaghetti western, and it's got a lot of bloody shootings and very gory scenes and lots of violence. Basically, everything is about some sort of violent event. So, not so much of... Okay, if I explain you the story shortly, yeah, it's about this couple who is getting married, but there's this gang of rapists that enter the church and shoot the priest and shoot the man and kidnap the lady, and the man is, of course, Tony Anthony, and of course he doesn't die of bullets. He survives, and then he is out for revenge. There's a lot of bad guys, this kind of rapist bad guys who hijack women from all around the country and sell them to the Mexico, and then, yeah, It's your basic revenge story, but there's very little dialogue, very, like I said, avant-garde scenes. The scenes doesn't matter story-wise. The main thing that they are show-offy, gimmicky. I like it. I like that shit. It would be very high. It would be fun to try this someday to, be really drunk or really high and watch this, because there's crazy stuff in there. But I gotta tell you, I have here Pale Fighter. Oh shit. The Finnish version of it, and yeah, sure, this has been toned down a lot for violence, but this is a very rare tape, Kalpea Kostaja. I don't know where they came up with this Pale Fighter. What's wrong with coming at you? I don't know. But yeah, the funny thing is that this is longer version than this Blu-ray, which is the director's, restored version. This completely misses out like 10 minutes from the flashback where it actually shows that Tony Anthony and Victoria Abril, I didn't probably mention even here, they are a couple of bank robbers and they're robbing bank, and then they are taken down and beaten up, and then Tony Anthony decides, and yeah, this is I need to change my life and let's get married. And the story basically on Blu-ray begins from that part. So this is a more complete version in that way. So I don't understand why didn't they include that? I think I like this better because it brings more, mystery to the character. Like, you don't want to be explaining Clint Eastwood's character in Sergio Leone's Dollar Trilogy too much. So it kind of brings more intrigue to the character on this Blu-ray. But notice that there is a longer version out there. And by the way, I have to tell you, this version, which was restored in 2009 or 8 or 16, whatever, this includes some weird rotoscoping effects where they change parts of the picture to the black and white. I don't know why did they do. Why would you do that? Because this version never does it go in black and white. Never. But there's a scene where there's a bunch of corpses in the desert. It's black and white. And there's only one survivor, and she is in color. And also, like, this one scene where the guy is killed and falls down from the chair, and we see the blood-dripping spear that has gone through him. And the blood is red. Every other thing is monochrome. So they probably were very impressed by Kill Bill's usage of monochrome colors, but I don't know. That's gotta be something that they did when they restored this version, because I don't think they could have done such a good job with that color back in the day. So, and also that effect is nowhere to be seen in this one. So that's my 5 cents of coming at you. If you get one recommendation from this broadcast, I would say check out Coming At You. It's great. It's in my opinion what 3D film should be. Yeah, check it out. Links below. Not probably gonna give 5 stars, but I would rate it 4 stars. And this is the only film in this series that you just gotta see the 3D version, because there's no point in watching this in any other version. So it's probably full of such a weird scenes that you don't understand any of it, because you don't get it that this is in 3D. Hello guys, Andy Rose has entered the chat. I love Piranha 3, says Remy86. In my top 3, do you mean Coming At Ya? Illogical might be the correct word. Yeah, this film is full of full of illogical scenes. But they make logic if you watch it on 3D. Can we get some more likes here? Yeah, you heard the man. Whatzilla says, can we get some more likes? 27 likes. 52 people watching. Hey, that is actually more better than last time. Piranha 3D rocked. Juhlajätkät coming soon on in 3D. The destruction of Juhlajätkät in 3D. So, Piranha 3D, I also have it on 3D Blu-ray on Future Film. Now, basically, it's not a, you know, it's outside of the topic of this live chat, but many of people there has mentioned this already, so maybe I give my 2 cents about this this towards the end of this broadcast. It was directed by French guy Alejandro Aya and starring a quite good bunch of actors. Richard Dreyfuss does a cameo in there, Christopher Lloyd does a cameo, Jessica Lange was starring in this film, and I mean Elizabeth Sue, I confused it, and bunch of others, yo. And I think this is more better 3D films that came out in the 2010s, but I think this is also a film that you can easily watch on without 3D effect and not basically losing any of it. Sure, there was lots of CGI, and also one guy's dick is getting ripped off and it flows towards the camera and piranhas eat it. So I understand that you cannot make that sort of effect in any way with physical effects. But my point is that maybe if you can do it in real effects, so maybe you don't have to do it at all. Because at least for me, it takes me out of the film. But yeah, it's a very campy film. Lots of gore done by Howard Berger and Greg Nicotero. So K&B guys are in the house. So I mean, lots of real gore too, which is a very good redeeming factor. If there's more practical gore than CGI gore, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper 10. So I have seen this a few times, and I really do like this kind of decadent feeling of it, because there was lots of nudity also in there. Or was there? I don't remember. And there was this great scene where this, party people are getting eaten. So lots of gore there as well. Maybe I need to check this out again, because it has been not some time since I have last time seen it. I love it, says Wadzilla. Also, Piranha 3D sequel. I have never seen that sequel. Is it something that it's worth to watch? I know that there's David Hasselhoff in there, but if one does like Piranha 3D, so should he watch 3D as well? Yeah, hey, I'm basically that is my 3D retrospective. Any ideas? Any comments? Basically, if I didn't forget something, that is basically every 3D film I have right now. I like it, but not as good. Hasselhoff does hustle with Hoffs. Stupid fun, nothing more. So, can you tell me, if it's as gory as the first one? Is there any more CGI, or is there less CGI? Is there less gore? What's that? What's the story on that one? Okay, more CGI. I kinda guessed that already. You may not know the old Canadian US comedy shown in SCTV. They do a great sketch called Dr. Tongue 3D House of Stewardess with John Cangy as Dr. Tongue. Can be found on the YouTube. I have never heard of that, but thanks for the tip. Maybe I go check it out. Sounds funny. Piranha 3DD was quite bad in my opinion, what I remember, says Tupe. Also, Dr. Tongue's 3D House of Pancakes. SCTV rules. So, is that a Canadian channel or what? I have never even heard about that. Alright, hey, maybe it's time to quit. Almost 2 hours. That's good record. Not a record, but it's a good amount of time. Piranha 3D is good, but I prefer the original Piranha without CGI in my bed. Yeah, I think that's Piranha. I wouldn't compare it to so much because I think they are quite different films. Piranha original and 3D. It's time to drink, yeah. Let's go to the bar, man. I'm buying this time. So I will quit the vote, and the votes are up. 79 people does not own 3D television set, but hey, most of you don't own it, but I'm glad that you managed to watch this long of an broadcast about these weird and wacky 3D films. Thanks, a good effort. Hey, no, thanks to you, Mr. Dumias. Like it. You had very good information, new information for me. I didn't know that you are so into 3D. Okay. Hey, Mr. Watchilla, I thank you for the super chat, and also, of course, Watford FC, who sent a super chat, but it was before the show, so it doesn't show in the counter. So, and as usual, I wish you the great of the rest of your day, and thank you for watching, and come back for the next video chat. Video talk. It was only on VHS episode, so I have a bunch of films that, to my knowledge, that have not been released on the proper DVD or Blu-ray. So let's check out a few of them then. So, let's see 10. I should watch Piranha again, only see it in VHS tapes. You could do a show on Michael Bay and I would watch. I love you, Brad. Oh, hey, thanks you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to that note, it's very good to put, the music online and, start lowering the curtains. Thank you all, and get you there next time, buddy boys. Thank you. Top 10 Michael Bay movies coming soon.
Video space. Video talk. Talking video talk. We're 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 talking video talk. Talking video talk. We're talking video talk.
The whole time I had video space.
Bitch, we're talking with our boy Willie. You know he's got the shit. He's dancing real hard. I know you'll never get sick of it. He's got that tee on, got
Thank
that
you,
long
and
sexy
big.
hair. You know he's about to take his shirt off, his abs so bare. He's got a six-pack, they call him Suburban Commando. He's a big motherfucker and he's dropping it low. He's about to slap that ass, baby, about to slap it so hard. You ever seen this motherfucker running naked through your backyard?
We're talking video talk. We're talking
Video talk, bitch, we're talking video talk. Get your video talk. You best subscribe. You best subscribe or die. You best subscribe or dive to video talk.